Okay, The Little Mermaid. Um, Although I actually found that she seemed about average height. I don't know where the little factor in. I've heard that The Little Mermaid is the last of the pure Disney cell animated movies. The films that would come later were produced using at least some manner of computer assistance. And of course, nowadays it's pretty unusual to see a hand-drawn movie. Not having seen this before, I know I'm the only one, I was taken by how simple the story is. I suppose there are leaps of logic, but there's a magic and an art to revealing only what is absolutely needed. If I were to write this movie, I would almost certainly make the error of over-explaining every little detail. There's a theory of screenwriting that views people as problem-solving machines, that we only want to be given the dots, and our enjoyment comes from drawing the lines in between the dots to arrive at the picture. I sense this movie makes a strong case for that theory. The big surprise here is that the 3D was generally not flat. This was not a cardboard cutout puppet show. The characters, though still kept simple, were given dimensions in both face and body, and it seemed to me that every opportunity to give an object some depth was taken. The opening shot was a boat sailing towards the screen, and it almost looked like a CGI boat with the 3D. Water bubbles are seemingly everywhere, to great effect, and the ocean from the surface stretches to the horizon. Being a Disney movie, it was drawn to impress. And the backgrounds are often very dynamic and change perspective. Characters run toward the camera and swing around to a different direction, all of which translates very well to a stereo image. There's some terrific and realistic 3D rain layered in on a couple of shots. It otherwise, though, kept the look and feel of the original. And taking a moment after to compare it with the original two-dimensional version, I did find a scene with some fireworks, and they added a slight blur over the fireworks, which were far in the background. Bright lights tend to be interpreted as close, so maybe they were trying to dull that effect. And in another involving a glowing rope, I noticed some haze was removed. I'm guessing that helps separate it from the background. Now, not having seen this before, I noticed the animation has a slight old-school choppiness that is not seen anymore, or at least I don't notice it, certainly not in a big movie. I'm guessing they started using computers to generate in-between frames to mimic the flow of a live-action movie. For some reason, I always thought of this as a 90s movie, but it is from the late 80s, and I didn't realize that it's where the song Under the Sea came from. For some reason, I always assumed that was from one of the later fish movies, like Finding Nemo or something. I've been watching several of these hand-drawn Disney movies lately. For some reason, I've never seen many of them before, but yet there are elements from them that have permeated culture to such a degree that I'm realizing I've been encountering these movies my entire life. Now, some people accuse Disney of influencing culture, but I wonder, have they actually just been embraced by our culture? Had this been a faithful retelling of the original fairy tale, which was a cautionary tale with a dark ending, it would have been long abandoned and forgotten regardless of any Disney promotion. I feel we look for feelings of love, security, and home. Is it influence that we look for it? I think marketers are backseat drivers, and their trick is to convince you your destination was actually their idea. This movie, I think, is remembered because it is just fun and has a kind way about it. No one had to be convinced of its rightness. It's simple. Flowers are pretty, weeds are prickly, and life is simple when you treat it simply.